Last week dropped a lot of new trailers for movies and video games. We had Guardians of the Galaxy, we had a trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2, there was a trailer for the new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild. The one that kind of caught my attention the most was probably the trailer for the new X-Men movie, Logan. This is the next installment of the X-Men movie universe. This is the third Wolverine standalone film. As far as I know, this is the last time he will be significantly playing the role of the Wolverine. It didn't really look like an X-Men movie, which isn't a bad thing. It looks a lot more, honestly, it looks a lot more like The Last of Us, or as I've heard it called, The Last of Us Mutant Edition. If you took out the chic Wolverine claws from the trailer, it would basically just be a trailer for The Last of Us, from the tone, from the music, from just how Logan looks in the trailer. You know, there's a little girl that he's, traveling across the country with, apparently. It looks like The Last of Us. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It definitely looks very different from any X-Men or even any superhero movie we've seen. It looks like a very internal kind of struggle for this character and what he's dealing with. This movie does take place after Logan wakes up or catches up with the new timeline that he set in motion when he went back in Days of Future Past. It gets a little wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. I've seen some confusion online, so I just wanted to, put my own interpretation of the X-Men Cinematic Universe timeline, hopefully clear up any question. This is how I interpret the X-Men Universe timeline. We will start with X-Men First Class. Then we're going to go on to X-Men Origins Wolverine. I know a lot of people don't consider X-Men Origins Wolverine part of the X-Men Cinematic Universe because it was so bad. Well, I can't disagree with you, but I do consider it as canon. I do put it in the timeline. So we're going to go from First Class to X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then the three X-Men movies, X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men United, and then X-Men 3 Last Stand, which had my favorite casting choice of all time, Kelsey Grammer as Beast. I thought that was a fantastic casting choice. I'll always talk about that. Then after X-Men 3, we're going to go into the Wolverine's second standalone movie, which I really liked, aside from a really forced romantic subplot they put in there. It's like, well, guess we're in love now, let's have sex. After the Wolverine, we're going to go into X-Men Days of Future Past. This is probably my favorite X-Men movie for a lot of reasons. Instead of deciding to retcon the entire past X-Men series, which is what they were originally going to do with X-Men First Class, it was just going to be the new beginning of the X-Men universe. All of the other movies are just going to be retconned. But they decided, instead of doing that, to kind of combine both of these X-Men universes into one. So therefore, the things that happened in the X-Men 1 and X-Men Origins, X-Men First Class, all of that did actually happen in that one timeline. But Days of Future Past goes back and it changes things and it creates this new timeline. And this is where things get a little tricky. The next movie that I will put in the timeline is X-Men Apocalypse, which takes place about 10 years after the past events of X-Men Days of Future Past. After that, I'm going to throw in Deadpool, because I do consider Deadpool as part of the X-Men Cinematic Universe, and it takes place between X-Men Apocalypse and then where X-Men Logan is going to be taking place. And Logan is, in my opinion, the end of, or not the end of that timeline, but the latest installment of the X-Men timeline. It gets really confusing. The best way I can think to look at it is you have to look at the character of Logan as kind of the continuing factor through all of the films. He's been in every single movie. Hugh Jackman has been in every single X-Men movie, even if it was just a brief cameo. He's been in every single one. So you have to look at kind of him as being the continuing factor in the timeline. The Wolverine that we see in X-Men First Class in the cameo to X-Men 1 and X-Men Origins, that is the same Wolverine that we're going to see, well, the Logan we're going to see in Logan. He still has all the memories of the past events. He's the only one that does. He's the only one that remembers all the things that happened in X-Men and X-Men United and X-Men Last Stand. And it looks like that a big part of Logan the film will be him kind of dealing with this new present, whether he's handling it well or not. And things don't look to be going well for him or even for the other characters involved. So I'm really curious about what are the state of the world that they're in, that these things are happening in the Logan film. And I'm really looking forward to finding out. It doesn't look like an X-Men movie. It doesn't even look like a superhero movie. It looks something completely different, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what that is. What did you think of all the trailers this week in the trailer for Logan? Let me know in the comments, and follow me on all the internets. Check me out at templeofgeek.com so you can see more of my content and content from other creators. Also, if you like my content, check out patreon.com/tguillotine so you can become a patron and support more of my future endeavors. Check out my sponsor, Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop at tubbyandcoos.com, where it's all geek to me. Follow me on all the internets and subscribe to my channel so we can geek out some more. Thanks for watching and have fun. 1. So Captain America, Thor, Hulk.